Hello, welcome to the Divine MF podcast. I'm Richard H. Klein.
I'm Nancy Thurman.
And we have made it to episode number 10.
Yay!
Whee! 10 episodes. Cool. So what should we talk about on our 10th episode?
I was actually feeling like we should talk about Yin Deficiency in society.
Yin Deficiency. The deficiency of yin. Not enough yin in our society, at least in the West,
Yes.
where we reside.
Yes.
Okay. And yin, again, is...
Feminine.
Right.
Surrender. Support.
Mm-hmm.
Faith.
Mm-hmm.
Allowance. Acceptance.
Giving love.
Giving love. Instead of direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. So not enough yin.
Yes. And pretty much my thought on this was, I feel like even disease states, as a physician, I feel like disease states is too much yang, not enough yin.
Disease. So being sick is too much yang.
Yep.
Okay.
Or getting sick, or actually getting sick is too much yang.
Overyanging.
Mm-hmm.
So a sickness or an illness is a response to overyanging.
Yes.
Telling your body, hey, you need to cool out.
Yes.
Nice.
There's too much heat, too much friction, too much inflammation,
Mm-hmm.
too much going on.
Right.
Because you're not allowing for the cooling to happen, which your body will do naturally.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So not giving yourself the cooling energies, not giving yourself the rest, not giving yourself the reprieve,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not enough self-love.
Yes. Yes.
These kind of are bringing about illness. Well, as well as what about a lack of a feeling of self-worth, a lack of self-worth?
Absolutely.
How would that tie in, or does it?
Yeah, actually, I think it would tie in. So, say for instance, if you feel like you're not worthy of self-love. So, in other words, you're a self-sacrificer, you're doing way too much, burning the candle at both ends, type of actions, because whatever reason there's some conditioning in your life that's made you believe that that's what you have to do in order to have any self-worth in society, as opposed to seeing yourself as a entity that needs self-love and put on the oxygen mask first, before helping others.
Sure.
Sunshine's coming out. But yeah, it is a self-worth. That is actually what the crux of the problem is, when you are under yinning. Yeah.
I mean, it would be nice, because I feel like I'm seeing a lot of stuff trending on social media about, like, oh, self-care, and make sure you do this for yourself, and like, da-da-da-da.
Yes.
Which I agree with. Like, yeah, you ought to, but it seems like it would be wonderful if we were in a place where that was, what's the phrase? Like a default, that was given. That was a given. Like, right. Yeah, of course.
Right. Well, I mean, like Western society even has different flavors of this. Like a 40-hour work week in America, in the United States, totally different than a 40-hour work week in Europe.
In what way?
In Europe, that's considered overtime.
Right.
There are more self-care schedules involved in European lifestyles.
Right.
America is, in this Western society, in the United States, it's just like slam yourself to the nubbin.
Sure. Yeah, there is a distinction. I remember when I went to visit my brother who lives in England. England also, I understand that's a Western country also.
Yes.
However, there were some distinctions between the England and the U.S., and that was before I took the trip, I was, I would tell people, coworkers, whatever, oh yeah, I'm gonna go, and they would say, oh yeah, how long are you gonna go? And I'd say, yeah, I'm going for 10 days, and they would say, yeah, that's a good start, like that's a nice, it's a nice long vacation, like right on, good for you, blah blah blah. When I went over there and was being introduced to their community in England, they would say, oh, like, oh, how long are you staying for? And I say, yeah, I'm here for 10 days, and they would go, oh, that's it? Like, that's so short. Oh, that's like barely any time at all. Well, next time when you come back, you make sure that you like stay longer so that you can see this and this and this, and people would have their favorite points of interest about the country.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just thought that was so incredible how 10 days here was just luxurious.
Right.
And 10 days over there was almost shortchanging yourself.
Exactly. Well, and I had actually a nurse friend that was from Scotland, who was a nurse over here in the United States for 20 years. And she had dual citizenship, and she decided that she was essentially going to retire from the United States nursing and go back to Scotland. And she was like, oh yeah, this is way, way better. Much slower paced. There's not there's more of a focus on patient care, patient well-being, as opposed to let's get her done, which is what tends to be what happens in the United States. Let's work the operating rooms from 6:30 a.m. until 6:30 p.m. Pretty traditional schedule of 50 and 60-hour work weeks here in medicine. So yeah, there's a focus on self-care is definitely different, even in like careers. Lifestyle, careers, probably family, right. I'm assuming, and even individual personal development.
Nice. Yes. So a lack of yin. I mean, frankly, I'll just kind of just say it outright. My perception of, this is just my personal opinion, but my perception of feminism in the West is actually not feminine at all. And I'm not saying it's good or bad or indifferent, but just to define what it is as I see it,
yes.
is that it's not really a wanting to celebrate femininity at all.
Right.
What it appears to be to me is giving women a platform to express their yang.
Correct.
Or for women to express their masculinity.
Yep. And
that's what we're calling feminism now.
Yes.
And so I would say that would fit into this not enough yin.
Yes.
Like what would, and I'm not saying it's wrong.
No.
Again, like everyone do whatever you want to do. There's plenty for every infinite expression in this world.
Right.
So again, this isn't a good or bad thing. But I am curious as to what something would look like that was about embracing and celebrating and giving a platform for the yin energy itself, for the feminine energy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you get down to the actual cooling energy of it,
right.
Truthfully, healthcare could be one.
Right.
That's essentially what I see as a nursing platform. So I would actually consider that as a part of a caretaker role in healthcare.
Right.
That celebrates yin. The yin energy is actually the supporting energy of the wellness of the patients.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, nurses are some of the most yin entities individuals that I've come across.
Right.
I would also consider teachers very yin, very supportive of society, very supportive of the children, and the community. Right. I would say that's a very
very
yin.
Nurturing.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And at what point, can you even say, I guess spirituality would be any type of spiritual teacher, maybe considered like us, where we're trying to just teach and share knowledge about what we know about yin and yang, is actually yin quality.
Right.
So what we do is somewhat yin.
Right. Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
What would a yin-driven company look like?
Ooh, that'd be fun. Wow.
Like if there was some kind of new startup that was like the next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could all name like the last few big, like, huge companies, huge breakthroughs in technology or in innovation or in the way we operate.
Yeah.
What if the next one was yin? What would a yin company look like?
Wow.
So rather than driving and just hiring a bunch of people to like everybody just like go forward and just like whatever, and then whoever does have the big idea, like that one goes. If it was just sitting back and and then just waiting for the moment to strike.
Yes.
For the yang moment, rather than yang, like, well, which I would actually argue that we're not completely yanging all the way, but let's just to simplify, let's say we are rather than yanging all the time, if it was just to wait, yes, yin, support, and then from there let blossom where the direction needs to go.
Right.
So rather than like automatic firing, because again, yang, a direction and a magnitude. So rather than just fire and just wasting all of these resources, just to wait and then know exactly which move to do to hit the bullseye in one.
I feel like that it wouldn't necessarily be a company, but I mean, you could have a government system that could potentially do this.
A yin government system? Okay, how would that look?
Well, where everybody is using, their number one priority is essentially love for all.
Right.
Collaboration, cooperation. It's about the whole, as opposed to, it's kind of like a mission of sorts.
Right.
Without it being very necessarily like pushed towards a direction.
Well, I think that if a society was actually doing that, what would happen is government as such would kind of diminish. Go away.
Yeah. Yeah. Collaboration. I'm almost kind of, what comes to mind is Burning Man. Burning Man is kind of one of those, collaborative efforts where communities come together out of the blue, total strangers. They build and they trade and they commune, and there's some strange things that go on at Burning Man, but it's also a collaborative effort.
It is. Well, I've never been to Burning Man, but I know I have several friends that have gone multiple times, and I don't know that they would agree that Burning Man is completely yin. Yeah. It is very communal, but it actually takes a lot of will.
Really?
So, I mean, it's hard even to get tickets to it.
Yes.
And so there's this whole thing about like the journey. It's very much like the hero's journey. It's a nice, example, opportunity. There's another word I'd rather say, but that I don't know what it is at the top of my head. But it's a nice proxy for the hero's journey, because it is, I don't know if I'm going to get tickets. I want to get tickets. And there's all of this kind of flux. Like you can plan to go with a certain group, and then some people will fall off and some will be added, and like things will change, and actually we're going to stay here in this camp. So there's a lot of will, in addition to the surrender of not sticking to the original plan, letting it evolve and blossom. So I guess in that sense, I'd agree.
Well, and there's a lot of surrender when you're out in the middle of a desert and you have to walk around you've got literally caked on sand on your body constantly. There is some surrendering you have to do with that.
Did you surrender at Burning Man?
No, I didn't do Burning Man. I have friends also that went.
Yeah.
And they said it was absolutely the most insane. These are Yang people, too, that went.
Sure.
So they had to do a shitload of surrendering.
Right.
In order for them to function in a harmonious way there.
Nice. This episode is brought to you by Burning Man. No. I'm just kidding. Okay, so a government that would, or a society that would look like Burning Man.
Mm-hmm. Some kind of collaborative effort. I think that would be, where you have society that has trade, currency, um, collaboration, building. So even the yang activities have a yin undertone.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's I feel like almost that would be a better example than an actual business. I can't think of a business that actually has yin, because business in general is meant for profit. Tends to be, unless you would maybe potentially have a community-based non-profit business that's a collaborative effort.
But I don't know that nonprofits really work either. I mean, nonprofits for the most part are just keeping themselves afloat.
Right.
So far as I could see. Again,
Right.
I'm not an expert, and you may happen to work for one that is doing quite well. I don't know. I'm not an expert on nonprofits. But I can't think of an example off the top of my head of one that is operating from a yin standpoint that is
Just
truly
surrendering.
yinning.
Yes. Surrender, intuitive, accepting, supporting. Everyone in the entire group would be supporting each other.
Right. It's almost like there has to be an absolving of the ego before that could happen, to a degree.
Yeah.
Because to surrender to the cause, to not be so survival based. Because I think that's really what it is. I don't even think we're actually in a yang society. I know we all have this, it's a man's world and like da-da-da, but I don't think it's truly yang. I think it's a lot of energy with not as much direction.
Yeah.
And so, I just lost my train of thought. So rather than spinning wheels, something to do with that. I think I see it more as spinning wheels. Oh, because of ego. That's right.
Right.
Ego-driven spinning wheels for survival, or the direction is survival, rather than for actual betterment or actual, I don't know, anything higher resolution.
Right.
Just very survival.
Yeah.
Get the competition. We must survive. So I think if there's an understanding of, if survival isn't at the center, then surrender could possibly happen.
Right.
Which would allow yin to happen. Then perhaps a more accurate direction would be available, which would be a truer yang.
Yes.
Than we're seeing actually.
Right. Right. Well, and most companies have missions. They have a company mission, and so that is their yang intention and direction. But if you don't have the yin support in the company, that will get on board with the mission, then the company doesn't thrive.
Right.
You have to have followers, so to speak.
Right.
And not just followers, but supporters. Like, I'm here with you through the thick and thin.
Well, what about a company like Google? Like, I haven't worked for Google or actually been on the campus, but I've heard. So again, this is just personal, way outside speculation. But I think they have they have their own baristas. And they have stuff like basketball courts and gym and
rest pods.
Rest pods. Yeah. They have a full, so that you don't have to be sitting at the cubicle all day.
Yeah.
So would that be an example of yinning?
Yes. So that's an example.
So Google's doing it.
Yeah. So and actually more of the advanced, thriving companies are focusing on the self-care of their employees, because they actually do understand that in order for them to have their mission fulfilled or sustained, they have to take care of their people.
Right.
And they have to encourage their people to take care of themselves, which is self-care. That's that yin quality.
Right. Well, it's almost lets the company be a society.
Right.
Really. So it kind of started as, I have my life, and then I go to my job. So then over time, it's like, oh man, my whole life is at my job. So now it's like, letting your job space be more holistic.
Yes.
So it kind of still feels like, so now the whole life is the job.
Yeah.
Even
Yes.
if it is well-rounded. It's
Yes.
that's just an interesting
Well,
kind
and
of shift.
also too, though, I do believe that it gets to the point where it spills over into your personal life. If you have a career or a job or a place that you work, where you work,
Right.
that encourages that self-care at work. So that those 6 or 8 hours that you're actually there and you're taking care of yourself will spill over into your other life. Whether it's family, social, leisure, whatever.
So what if the work... Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the gist, is it spills over.
Well, what if instead of encouraging self-care, if they expected self-care?
That would be freaking awesome.
So that was a given, rather than, hey, make sure... Because there's also this thing of this kind of victimness. Oh, I'm sick, or like, oh, I'm working so hard, and like, as we just said at the beginning, that like illness is your body needing yin.
Yeah.
And so if it wasn't, hey, encouraging you to, so then there's this kind of self-focus to let that be a given so that we can properly focus outward.
Right.
And radiate out.
Yes.
So what would that look like?
I mean, the most productive businesses are going to be those people that are operating, that are healthy.
Right.
Physically, mentally, emotionally healthy. So, it's not just offering health care coverage. That's not the point.
Right.
Truthfully, I feel like it would need to be a part of the benefits package would be the gym time, the trainer, the nutrition coaches, the life coaches. You don't need therapists necessarily, or doctors. I know I'm a doctor, but that's not what I'm getting at. You don't necessarily need those people to reverse stuff. You need new path.
Right. Or just let those two positions, doctors and therapists, not be fixing, but rather kind of more the coach role, which is
teaching the wellness.
Yeah, before the break
happens,
whatever it is.
Yes.
Before the illness or before the breakdown.
Yes.
So that their job is to actually cultivate well-being rather than to fix ill-being.
Yes. Yeah, and that's a huge life changer. Lifestyle medicine is a real entity that is actually a real part of medicine now. They figured out prevention is definitely worth a pound of cure. It's way, way more valuable to prevent than it is to reverse.
Sure.
So it's actually a part of medicine that is up and coming. Whether or not it's health coaches or nutrition coaches or even physical coaches, where you actually are getting physical training in a gym, how to weight lift, how to do cardio, those type of things to maintain this vessel. And when you maintain the vessel, you also maintain the central nervous system, which of course is your ability to concentrate and focus and do things.
Nice. Okay, so let's kind of shift gears a little bit. And so rather than putting the onus or the responsibility on the government or on the job or the company or let's talk about how at an individual level we can cultivate and nourish yin energy to kind of start that well-being with the self, because that is absolutely doable. And so let's find ways that are doable with that.
Right.
Before we do, this episode is actually brought to you by Shared Heart Journeys. sharedheartjourneys.world, tools for the awakening life. Go ahead and log on, fill out the contact form to schedule your free 30-minute consultation before beginning a 12-week coaching program to bring yin into your life, or to bring some more yang into your life, or to just kind of optimize your yin-yang balance so that you can best live the life of your dreams, whether that is the career life, the family life, the relationship life, anywhere that feels like it's not really operating well. using this kind of yin yang perspective, we can help to cultivate the roadmap for the optimal dream life.
Yeah.
For you. So sharedheartjourneys.world. You can check us out on Instagram and Facebook at Shared Heart Journeys.
Mm-hmm.
So, yinning our own lives.
Mm-hmm. Yep. In my experience, mine was literally resting. I had to rest more.
Mm-hmm.
I had to literally get a Fitbit and watch how much sleep I got at night.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So I think that is a very good place to start, is monitoring how much sleep and rest you're getting.
Nice. I have not Fitbitted, but for me with rest, what has optimized rest is turning screens off an hour before bed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all screens. That's phone, that's TV, that's computer.
Mm-hmm.
So for the last hour before bed, there's just way less stimulation and less LCD screen. Zero LCD screen.
And blue light.
Yeah.
Blue light actually has been shown in studies to increase your dopamine levels in your brain. Of course, that's why you're addicted to your phone. Dopamine.
Yeah.
But what it does is it actually, if you can give yourself that no blue zone before going to sleep, at least an hour, actually ideally 4.
Right.
Even shutting off your blue light, and doing the
night mode.
The night mode
and
on
your blue glasses. Just turn your shit off.
Yeah.
Just turn your shit off.
Stop the stimulation too.
I mean, if you're sleeping well, then don't. Do you, but try it.
Yes.
You will sleep better.
Oh yeah. And that's really probably that's step 1 is sleeping. And if you're not feeling optimized and like super fresh in the morning and you're having to pound coffee, that probably means you haven't gotten enough sleep. Okay. Or you've not gotten solid sleep. There's something amiss with your sleeping habit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Alcohol also, the night before you go to sleep at night, can mess up your REM. Mm-hmm. If you didn't know that can actually mess up your sleep pretty well.
Yeah, that makes sense. I definitely don't sleep as well on nights when I drink.
Yeah.
And I'm not a heavy drinker by any means, but even so, even just two drinks or 3, I notice I don't sleep as well.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
It does. It definitely changes how you go in and out of REM, which is that your REM cycles are actually your major restful cycles when you're sleeping.
Nice. Okay, so also caring for your body.
Yep.
I mean, I would say anyone working a job that's physical to be getting a massage at least once a month.
Yeah.
Even though it can feel like an expense, a large expense to just add out of nowhere to the budget. It's still one massage a month, just that reprieve, just that taking care of your body. Mm-hmm. I'd say it would be preventative.
Yes.
Depending on the job.
Absolutely.
And so that a monthly massage, even over 5 or 10 years, still costs less than a crazy injury and surgery.
Or a big back surgery, or something along those lines. Mm-hmm. And also too, you probably have noticed this when you do get massages. You notice how when you come out of it, you feel super relaxed, like mentally relaxed, emotionally relaxed. It's because you are activating your parasympathetic nervous system when you're getting massage, which is the opposition to fight or flight, which is sympathetic nervous system, which we're always in overdrive. Always, that's the yang stuff. It's go, 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 go. That's fight or flight.
Right.
And that's your epinephrine going, your adrenaline going. So when you get a massage, that's what happens, is you're actually activating your parasympathetic nervous system to calm down your sympathetic.
What are other ways to activate the parasympathetic? Parasynthetic or parasympathetic?
Parasympathetic.
Parasympathetic.
Yes.
Okay. So the cooling.
Yes.
What else activates that?
So yoga definitely does it.
Okay.
Acupuncture treatments do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so does chiropractic.
Oh, nice.
So all of those, now granted, you're using these as preventative / maintenance. This is not for, I have an injury and I'm getting a treatment.
Okay.
These are for prevention, for maintenance.
Right. I see.
To maintain the vessel. And but what you're doing is you're activating parasympathetic nervous system. So yoga, acupuncture, chiropractic,
right,
massage, getting a massage.
What about pedicures, or foot rubs, because with foot reflexology?
Yes, yeah, it's same in the same category as acupuncture, Chinese medicine.
Okay. Nutritionally, what foods would be more yin or cooling? I mean, I saw an Ayurvedic practitioner a little bit, so I guess the kapha foods would be cooling, the earthy foods. So those would be like avocado, your cottage cheese, the root vegetables.
Yeah. I would also say that.
Also, I'm not in. This is a question. I don't know that this is.
Yeah, I actually, and I'm not. I just know a tiny bit about Ayurveda medicine. Ayurveda medicine. So, pretty much what I would say more of a cooling would be the earthy type stuff. So in agreement with you, I'm guessing probably what you're saying is right. Intuitively, that's kind of what I'm hitting. And I'm just following some gut feelings about this because I just don't know, and I would love for you guys to comment on this and tell us what y'all know about this.
Yeah, and
because we love learning this kind of stuff.
Right, and to see for yourself what foods do feel like refueling. What foods are great for? Okay, I'm going to go on a crazy workout, and what foods feel great about cultivating ease and rest and reprieve for yourself, because we do all have our unique yin yang balance.
Right. Well, and I would also too say that certain vegetables would be that as well. Vegetables as in non-starchies, things like leafy.
Oh.
I'm guessing because think about how sometimes you just are like, I just need a salad. You know how you need a raw salad type thing.
Right.
Not cooked spinach,
right,
but a raw salad. There's something about that. That's almost feels like to me like that's kind of a yin craving that the body is wanting.
Yes.
Because it's not. It's mainly to cleanse and cool the body. Anti-inflammatory.
Right.
So think anti-inflammatory in this regard.
Okay, so that would be, what are other anti-inflammatories?
Well, all vegetables.
Okay.
Some fruits. I would say non-meat, non-dairy, because meat and dairy tend to be inflammatory. So yeah, that's what I would say. It's vegetables mainly and fruits. A lot of the antioxidant fruits like berries, strawberries, avocado, tomato, those type of fruits.
Okay. Nice. Okay, so that's a little bit of a beginning for exploration with food, or to see a nutritionist. Those of you that if this is resonating for you, see a nutritionist. Look at an Ayurvedic practitioner or whatever, any school of thought. Okay, so it's been a crazy work day, and normally to kind of release the stress, I might go to the local watering hole and have a drink or two. So we kind of have touched a little bit about alcohol being a yin-inducing agent. As an alternative, what would be a nice yin treat after a crazy long work day?
A bath.
A bath?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. What else?
Maybe some herbal tea.
Herbal tea?
Yep. If you're going to consume something. Yes. Non-caffeinated.
Right.
Herbal tea.
I feel like sitting outside when it's the seasons, or if you're in a place where it's not super crazy cold or scorching hot.
Yeah.
But
Nature.
being outside. Yeah, nature. Mm-hmm.
Sitting in grass is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's not even so much the connection to Mother Earth. I know there's a lot of yin. I want to say there are yin practitioners that want to connect with Mother Earth.
Right.
And that would be something that you could do. I mean, I'm a proponent of walking in grass barefoot. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really, that's a really good yin activity to do, to just kind of, and you'll notice when you're doing it, your entire nervous system just calms down.
Right. Yes.
I remember Richard Gere in Pretty Woman did that.
Oh.
Yeah,
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, he was walking in grass. He was in his real super nice suit, and he had rolled up his britches, and he was walking in grass out in the park.
Nice.
After he had met her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who was a quintessential yin.
Yes.
Learning how to yin is what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so any body of water, if you're into swimming, bathing, or just going by a little mountain stream,
mm-hmm.
or next to a lake or next to an ocean, those are yin activities.
Right.
Out in nature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'd say, for those who feel there's no time for this kind of stuff, I'd say that the moments where you're scrolling is the time for this stuff.
Yep.
And the accumulation of those scroll times. I mean, the phones all kind of show you how long you've spent on each app or whatever in a day. Those scrolling times where you're just, scrolling with no real intention, that adds up. You'll be surprised how quickly 20 minutes goes by when that's happening.
And that's a yin activity.
Right.
I get
but is it rejuvenating, though?
Yes, exactly.
For me, it's not.
Exactly. And also, too, with kind of what's going on in the world, if you're looking at a feed that's got war, famine, rapes, shootings, mass shootings, you're not yinning.
All the terrible things.
That's not yin. That's not nurturing.
Right, yeah.
For your nervous system at all.
Seeing that kind of stuff, yeah, it is not relaxing at all. It's...
Yeah. Oh, I took out 99% of my feed now has nothing to do with politics, news, any world events, you name it.
Right.
It was only, it takes even a few days for me to even hear about big deaths or big wars or anything, even like presidential election results and stuff like that. I just I don't see that stuff anymore.
Right. And how is life with a feed like that?
Oh, 1,000 times better.
Nice.
1,000 times better.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that in itself is a really, really nice yin activity for yourself. Change your feed.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna scroll and do that, change it to where it's nurturing you.
Mm-hmm. And I'd say actually, if you truly wanted to shift, I would say delete it entirely and start a brand new profile if you have to. Yes. If you even really want a profile, start fresh, because what happens is the algorithms are so awesome. They just kind of cater to what you're into, and so if you've been saturated with that, you will see more and more and more of that.
Yes.
And it takes a while when you change your preferences. It kind of takes a while for it to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But to just kind of scrap that, start with fresh, make up a whatever email. This is my profile now. And just kind of, at the beginning, it asks you what your preferences are. Just choose brand new preferences.
Yes.
And you'll be surprised how very quickly your mood will change.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's literally, you feed your body nutrients, you feed your mind nutrients.
Mm-hmm.
Your body, your vessel knows what you're feeding it. Whether it's your central nervous system, whether it's your eyes, your ears, your taste buds, your nose, it knows what you're feeding it. And if it's aligned to how you're balanced and what is appropriate for you.
Right. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, there's many things you can do to add yin into your life. Slow down. Just slow down. And worst case scenario, if it's just too much, just detach. It's not going to change when you come back to it.
Right. It'll always be there. And there's never really any end
to
that.
No.
I mean, the cliche is like it's a rat race, but like there's so much truth to that. There's every accomplishment is just the kind of groundwork for the next accomplishment to get to.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm all for like achievement. It's wonderful, it's beautiful, but it doesn't have to be constant 150% of all the time.
Right. Right.
Like, why not enjoy the getting to the achievement?
Yes.
And enjoy being there, and then enjoy getting to the next one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and enjoying life is a yin activity.
Right.
Literally being aware that life has the ability to be pleasurable is a yin essence. I never saw life as pleasurable when I was yanging all the time. I was yanging constantly.
Right.
And then the the ultimate happened to me. I fell down the steps. I crushed my chest, and I had to yin.
Right.
It was like all of a sudden, higher power says stop. You're done.
Right.
It's time to stop yanging.
Right. Now, I also have to say, I do have times where I'm loving life so much when I'm yanging. If I'm on a run or on a running regimen or rock climbing, for sure. I love rock climbing and pushing the limits and pushing my skill set there.
Yes.
That is so enjoyable every single step of the way. And when I'm making films, for the most part, too, I get in moments where it's like, oh, it's not happening. And those are the moments to kind of soften and let go.
Right.
But it's not wrong to have a direction, but it's what we're, I think, aiming at or offering up is, what if we are kind of well-nourished and well-nurtured going into the drive rather than driving incessantly forever.
And then needing to yin because you have to.
Right, because you're sick and you can't walk or whatever.
Right.
Can't get out of bed.
Right. Right. And that's hopefully what we can help prevent with you guys is, just watch for signs of overheating. And that's pretty much the lesson learned for me, was overheating occurred and things needed to change, and you don't have to throw yourself down the steps.
Right.
You don't.
Right.
You just, take time out for yourself. Look at it as, is this loving? Is this self-loving to me right now? To be right here in this moment, in the middle of blah, blah, blah. Is this loving for me? Is this serving who I want to serve by being in the middle of this?
Right. Am I in a place now where I can actually give my best self to others? Or am I trying to put someone else's mask on before my own?
Right.
Am I ready to help others?
Right. Right.
Not imbalanced to the point of just martyrdom, because that's not really helping anybody.
Right.
You're not at your optimal space to actually be of help, so you're not actually helping them, and you're not nourishing yourself, so you're depleting yourself. So that martyrdom stuff, just no.
It doesn't work. No, it doesn't.
Let yourself be in a place where you can freely, generously, optimally offer yourself.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, just always think self-care. Self-care is not selfish. If there's anything that you can take from this talk, self-care is not selfish.
Yeah, let it be a given. Let it be a default.
Yeah.
So that it's not even anything to talk about.
Right.
Yeah. Like, we don't talk about brushing our teeth every day, for the most part.
No. And
so just brush your teeth.
Yeah.
Just do it. Self-care.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
I would love it if self-care was like a moot point.
Yes, it absolutely.
For everybody, like societally, if we just stopped, if self-care just wasn't even a thing because it was just obvious.
Yeah.
Like putting on your underwear or like being clothed.
Right.
Like get dressed before you go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Nobody talks about that.
Yes. Or gravity.
Right.
There's gravity.
Yes.
You drop something, it falls to the ground. That's gravity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, cool.
Yeah.
Let's bring the yin back.
Let's bring the yin
True
back.
Yin.
I like it.
Let's see, is there anything else on this for now?
No. I actually feel like this has been a pretty complete talk.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in for 10 whole episodes. And here's to the next 10. But we're going to reprieve first.
Yeah.
We're not going to drive straight to it.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
We're going to hang out and then give you a new episode.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Y'all have a good night.